Hello, this is Janie with PuppyLovesMe.net, and today I'm going to start reading out of this book, Sweet Dream Kisses. It's got a lot of different stories in there. Today we are going to read The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So sit back and get comfy and let's begin.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf, illustrated by John Goodell. Many years ago, there was a quaint little village called Schaffenburg. Schaffenburg was like any other quaint little village except for one thing: its many, many sheep. The village had so many sheep that the woolly white creatures outnumbered the people. Now all of these sheep brought fame to the village of Schaffenburg for what they provided: their wool. The sheep had the finest, softest, warmest, wooliest wool in all the land. People came from far and wide to get socks and sweaters and blankets made from Schaffenburg wool. I think I skipped a page. Because the Schaffenburg so depended on its sheep and their wool, the villagers took extra care to protect the sheep from harm. There were many wild beasts that would like nothing more than a mouthful of mutton. Beasts such as bears and lions and wolves. In order to keep these wild animals from eating their precious sheep, the villagers hired a young boy to tend to the flocks. This shepherd boy was named Wolfgang, and how Wolfgang loved the sheep of Schaffenburg. Every morning, the boy would gather the sheep into one large flock, and then he would lead them through the fields and pastures until he found the freshest, greenest grass. When the sheep were thirsty, Wolfgang led them to cool, babbling brooks of water. Wolfgang loved the sheep so much that he would even play his youthful games with the flock instead of other children. One morning, as the sheep grazed on the fresh green grass, Wolfgang began to daydream. He imagined that a wolf was after his flock, and that he bravely fought it off. This daydreaming got Wolfgang to thinking, what would happen if a wolf really did come after his sheep? In all his days as a village shepherd boy, Wolfgang had never had to deal with a wild animal. He only led the sheep to pasture or to water. He was just a boy and no match for a hungry, growling, prowling wolf. Now worried about what might happen if a wolf did attack the flock, Wolfgang decided to see how quickly the other villagers might come to his aid. Perhaps if I pretend that a wolf is nearby, the people of the village will come running, Wolfgang thought. So putting his hand to his mouth, Wolfgang called out in his most frightened voice, "Help! A wolf! A wolf!" Sure enough, just as Wolfgang had expected, the people of the village came dashing to help him. The village band dropped its tubas and accordions and came running. The farmers dropped their plows and milk buckets and came running. Soon the entire village of Schaffenburg was in the pasture, all looking to save Wolfgang and his sheep from a wolf. Except there was no wolf. "I thought I heard Wolfgang cry wolf," said the tuba player. "I cut short my polka to come help." "I know, I heard Wolfgang call for help," said a tavern girl. "I left my hungry and thirsty customers to come help." "I could have sworn I heard Wolfgang crying that there was a wolf after his sheep," said a farmer. "Why, I knocked over a morning's worth of milk as I ran to help." All the while, as the people of the village came running to his rescue, Wolfgang had found it rather funny. He had laughed as a tubby tuba player waddled along. He had giggled as a tavern girl tripped over her apron. He had howled as the farmer's hat flew from his head. Alas, the people of the village did not find the prank as funny as Wolfgang. "You mean there's no wolf?" asked the tuba player. "Why, Wolfgang lied to us," said a tavern girl. "That rapscallion is in trouble," cried the schoolmarm. "Do you realize what you've done?" scolded the farmer. "You have lied to all of us, Wolfgang. And besides that, if ever a wolf should attack your sheep, you shouldn't expect us to come running to your rescue." Wolfgang held his head in shame. He knew that what he had done was wrong. He would never lie again. Oh dear. Once the people of the village had returned to their work, Wolfgang sat down upon a grassy hill to think about what he had done. As Wolfgang was thinking about his lie and all the trouble it had caused him, you would never believe what came creeping up right behind him. That's right, a real-life wolf. The huge, hairy hungry beast, chased after the lamb, licking its lips. The shaggy, snarling animal scattered the ewes, snapping its enormous jaws. The great, growling canine stormed up the hill, glaring at poor, frightened Wolfgang with his glowing yellow eyes. Wolfgang had no time to think. He didn't know what to do, so he ran. And he screamed and yelled for help. "Help! Help!" Wolfgang cried. "A wolf! A wolf! Someone please come save me from this awful wolf." Wolfgang dashed down the hill and into the village. He ran down the streets of Schaffenburg calling for help, crying out that a wolf was after his sheep. But just as the farmer had warned him, nobody came to his rescue. Nobody came to help. "That foolish boy is lying again," said the schoolmarm. "Fiddlesticks," said a tavern girl. "That Wolfgang is playing tricks on us." The tuba player rolled his eyes and just kept playing his polka, sure that Wolfgang wasn't telling the truth. As Wolfgang cried for help, and as the people of Schaffenburg went about their daily business, that wolf chased off the entire flock of sheep, and not one person came to help. Not one person believed poor Wolfgang. That day, Wolfgang, the shepherd boy, learned that nobody believes a liar, even when he tells the truth. Let that be a lesson to you, kiddos. The end. I hope you have a blessed day.